Let's take a look at this from Daily Caller. Check this one out. Exclusive. Video appears to show migrants tucked away in hidden room under military guard at major U.S. airport. We actually have the video here from Daily Caller. I don't know if everyone, it's real. I don't even know if you can see it because the way they needed to rotate this.
Yeah, they should have just.
Why did the Daily Caller rotate the video?
They were busy. It was breaking.
So in this video, I'm going to lower the volume. There's a man. It's up here at the top. You can see a guy in some kind of military uniform. I don't know if he's National Guard or if he's Army or what he might be. But it's hard to see because they also put their watermark over it. Yeah, so I don't know how to show it to you any better, those that are watching. But apparently, this was filmed by a state senator. Let me get the details on this. State Senator Colton Moore, a Republican, vice chairman of the Georgia Freedom Caucus, took the video. Apparently, when he tried to film directly, this guy in uniform went up to him and told him he was done, shut him down, tried to take his phone from him. So that would indicate, I know they're trying to be careful here, saying appears to show migrants under military guard. Fair point, because we don't know if this guy's actually in the. We don't know who this guy is. But I think you can say it does show it. Now the question is, who is this guy? Was he given direct orders to protect illegal immigrants, criminal aliens? Or is he acting of his own volition? Is he working private? We don't know what's going on. But this is just one grain of sand in the, if you knew actually how bad things were. Like, look, for years we've known the Biden administration was smuggling children. Criminal, illegal, I should say, for the kids, they're brought here by their parents. I guess criminal alien applies, I'm not entirely sure. But undocumented children brought here by cartels, smugglers, and their parents are then put on planes by the Biden administration and flown to Tennessee, to New York, to other cities and states in the middle of the night. It's insane to me that the Biden administration's been doing this for years.
Do you know what airport this is in? Do they say
Atlanta.
that? So it's in Atlanta airport.
I believe this.
Hartsfield, I think.
Is it? Yeah, Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson
It looks like I
International
need
Airport.
to take a visit to Atlanta. I mean, kudos to the senator for filming this, but he should have walked up to the National Guard or whoever it was and said, "What are you doing here? Why are you guarding this? In what capacity are you working?"
If he was working independently, then who would have been funding him? NGOs?
Well, and why is he wearing his uniform?
Yeah, you would not be. You would be against policy, right, to wear a uniform.
Well, at least with the police departments, they have to get approval through the city and through their police chief. I'm not sure how it works in the military.
It's got to be National Guard.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right though.
Because of posse comitatus. Armed forces can't be used for domestic law enforcement unless there are some exceptions. I think the Insurrection Act is one. So I'm assuming it's a National Guardsman in Georgia who's been sent for some reason. But I got to tell you, like, I'm going to say this. If this is true, that these are criminal aliens, this state senator said a whistleblower came to him and told him this was going on. If that is a room of criminal aliens being trafficked, being smuggled, and that guardsman is protecting them, I want to see him in prison.
Oh, absolutely.
Lock them up.
Well, and that's the
Criminal
biggest
charges.
thing is people are so lenient with everybody that's doing this. I mean, like, I think the San Antonio PD officers that I confronted, I think they should be in prison. 100%. Why are you in an official capacity or an unofficial capacity in your uniforms, using your service weapons, using your cars, allowed to facilitate human trafficking and smuggling into America when that's illegal and it's something you should actually be investigating? It's insane. It makes absolutely no sense in my mind.
And this isn't the worst of it. It's funny that, you know, this video comes out. This is a Daily Caller exclusive. This is Jenny Tare. And it's just like, I think we can all surmise it's much worse than we realize. You know, James O'Keefe, for instance, exposes these buses that are driving criminal aliens. There is a massive human smuggling network to the tune of billions of dollars that's been full swing over the past couple of years under Joe Biden. And Joe Biden's in on it. I got a question. Is his family getting kickbacks?
Probably. I mean, you can't trust anything the Biden family does, in my personal opinion. Part of this is
anything.
Nothing.
He could rescue puppies, and I'd be like, "What was that?"
I honestly would think it was staged because there's no way that man can move fast enough to rescue a puppy. But the thing is, the illegal immigration under Biden has increased by basically 1 million people every year. We're cumulatively at over 6 million people. So of course this system is starting to burst at the seams. I mean, if you look at the Massachusetts at Logan Airport in Boston, there are videos of migrants just sleeping on the floor. There's nowhere for them to go. For years, Massachusetts has been saying, I mean, at least for the last 6 months, I should say, Massachusetts has been warning, we're at capacity. We don't have any place to put anyone. We need to do something. And there's sort of no answer because the federal government has refused to enforce immigration law, refused to ally itself with the states that are acting to defend themselves, and now we're all paying the consequences. I mean, it is not obviously, I think if you entered this country illegally, you are obviously a criminal, you are doing something wrong. But I can understand that they are also suffering in the conditions that they are being housed in. No one wants to sleep on the floor at an airport indefinitely. Like, no one benefits from this system except for Joe Biden and Democrats, who theoretically could maybe stash people in states and tip the census in their favor.
Even then, they're not just being stashed in airports either. I mean, we see it in Chicago O'Hare Airport too. Mm-hmm. There's a whole section of tents that are now being marked off to media after Ben Bergquam went down there and basically exposed what was going on to the extent that it was going on. They have little privacy flyers on it. Do not enter. Mm-hmm. You know, it's essentially like they're living there. But on top of that, a lot of the times when I talk to these illegals in the airport, they have no idea where they're going, and then their pickup, I asked to see what their WhatsApp is, because that's where they do all the facilitation with the NGOs. And almost every single time, they're heading to a local community center that has basically been, I don't know if it's rented out or what's going on, but they're basically all being conglomerated and put in rec centers for who knows.
Yeah.
So they're either sleeping on the rec center floor, or they're sleeping in the airport somewhere, or they're just disappearing. So,
and even if it's not kickbacks per se, everyone knows right now that bringing in that demographic is voting block material in future elections, because the elections aren't safe either a lot of the time.
Yeah, young military age men, so great. No, I think all of this is it's interesting to me to see how much the conversation around the border and immigration has shifted over the last basically 20 years, right? I mean, there were times when this wasn't a subject that conservatives would touch at all. And now, you know, maybe not super effectively, but at least they are willing to say, we're not doing anything until the border is a top priority. And I think that's the best thing they can do for their constituents. Any elected Republican should know that this isn't just something that we do to not encourage people to endanger themselves by crossing illegally into the country, but it's to say, I prioritize the people who put me in office. I want you guys to feel safe and feel as though the resources that your tax dollars are supposed to support go to you.
It is weird how, like, even like during the Obama administration, illegal border crossing was something that was, at least they paid lip service to it, right? In some way, shape, or form. And that kind of disappeared when Trump got elected, and it became such a contentious issue, kids in cages, things like that. And it's kind of become...
Well, I feel like under Obama, the narrative was people need help, and it's our obligation as this powerful, wealthy nation to, you know, help them, whatever else.
But they talked about the border fence, and like it was at least paid lip service.
Well, Obama actually built a portion of the wall as well. A lot of people don't understand that a part of that wall actually was built in the Obama administration. Also, the cages were built in the Obama administration.
Exactly.
So that's something people don't know.
Well, no, I think they changed the name. They only became cages when Trump got elected. I think that they were migrant holding facilities until then, and then they became cages.
And now they're
migrant holding facilities again.
Well, the biggest difference between it's all about who's in office and who knows how to actually use their power and who controls the media at this point. So when Democrats are in office, it's always a humanitarian issue, and we need to save these people. We're a nation with the money to save these people and to give them the lives that they need and deserve. Allegedly. And then when Trump's in office or somebody in the GOP is in office, then, it becomes an issue of we are essentially attacking these people and denying them their basic human rights to illegally cross into our country. So
someone super chatted. This is, what is it, Latin 342, that the guy in the video is wearing a brown round, the hat, and that National Guard don't have that. It's a drill sergeant hat, so it's got to be federal. I don't know where in the video you can see that. It does look, for a brief small portion, there may be a brim off the back of his head. I don't know if you can tell if that is a full hat. I mean, for all we know, he's wearing a backwards baseball cap. I doubt it. That a guy in uniform would be wearing that. But that would be interesting nonetheless. Don't know for sure.
Well, if the senator that is recording this video is watching right now, send me the details and I'll be there in a few days to ask questions.
Or he can just send you the details and say, yes, the guy was wearing a brown round, and describe the patch on his arm, and we can figure out if this guy's working for the federal government. It may be. It may be. Look, I mean, that would be a huge scandal, I'd imagine, if U.S. armed forces federally were facilitating this, because that's, that might be into the area of a military coup outright.
Well, and especially with what you have going down in Shelby Pass right now. You know, they're allowed to stop it, but they're actually not allowed to stop it according to the Biden administration. But then on one side, if this actually is somebody in the Army or the National Guard, then they're actively facilitating it while trying to nationalize the National Guard in Texas. So you have a huge, butting of heads issue right there.
I mean, this is if that is federal armed forces, I don't know what you'd call this, because, I've described what Joe Biden's been doing as a seditious conspiracy. Treason typically refers to, or more likely to refer to, acts of war and supporting enemies. Treason, being a traitor, right? What does it mean to be a traitor? You're helping the enemy. Okay, so let's say Tayler and Hannah Claire are fighting over a slice of cake, and then I'm like, I'm here to defend you. It's your cake, and then I go behind your back and go, I'm a traitor. I betrayed you, right? That's treason. Sedition would just be like trying to destroy this country, and it seems like that's what is going on.
I love that example.
Yes, but
Not the case.
But I have to imagine perhaps it's treason. I mean, if they're working with cartels, it is treason then, because now they're aiding and abetting an enemy that we are in active conflict with. That's nuts, man. I don't know what to say.
And the Biden administration, no matter what happens, will say, you guys are crazy. This has always been the way things are done. Or you didn't see it right. This is a right-wing conspiracy.
And the media will run cover for them. I mean, that's why I lose a lot of faith. Whenever we cover any stories like this, when you hear any stuff like this, I just don't see it reaching the average American because everyone's so in their echo chambers anyways. The people who will get this media, the ones who are searching it out, whether they're using alt media like this or they watch Fox or OAN or anything like this, they already agree with you. And the people that you would like to reach and hopefully show that this is happening, they're not going to be watching any media that actually catches on to this.
But it's still, the information must spread.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And well, I mean, it is fascinating to hear how the migrant crisis has really shifted a lot of people in this country towards the right.
And I think it has been a slow boil issue. I think concern about the border has increased over the last 10. I mean, even under Trump, right? When Trump was saying, I want to build the wall, there were people who were excited about that because they already felt the burdens of immigration on their community, especially illegal migration. And so the idea that under Biden, it got worse on top of everything else that Biden has done, I don't know that there is enough spin out there. I think it has really punctured through mainstream narrative. I think even people who are not political start to say, why are we letting this happen?
Well, I
at the
mean,
border?
just the San Antonio video that I filmed earlier this month, it breached over, I think, 4.5 million just on Twitter off of Tenet's page, and not including the reposts on Instagram, on Twitter. I mean, on multiple different, it went viral on Facebook as well and on multiple YouTube channels. So you're still breaking into the apparatus of, normies, so to call.
Yeah.
And which that's a good thing, which I think if any issue is going to change people's minds on what's going on in the country, it's going to be this issue, because you can go into any airport. I always encourage people to do this. Pretty much any airport in the country, look around for manila or clear envelopes. You're going to see illegal immigrants on your flight or on flights around you and wandering throughout the airport.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.